go. So we're back with a follow-up. I'm going to introduce Patrick Higgins. Patrick Higgins is my little brother. I'm the handsome one, and he's the intelligent one. So, Pat, tell us what you do, and then I'm just going to have you share the story, your childcare story, and your childcare / teaching story with our audience, all 17.
Nice. How many? What's your audience at? Like 10 people?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly how many moms watch us right now. So.
All right. Yeah. Mine is Patrick Higgins. I'm going into my 14th year of teaching. Taught 3rd grade, 5th grade, kindergarten for the last 6 years. Well, I'm cooking dinner. My brother said that was okay, so I'm cooking dinner. So anyway, yeah, I've taught here in Bozeman for the last 6 years, kindergarten, and now I'm teaching 1st grade full remote. But Bozeman's not like most places. It's a choice. It's not full remote here in Bozeman. It's you could be blended, or you could have put in a name to get remote teaching. And so me and my wife put in our names to get remote because she has some health issues, and my youngest twin. Don't go for 3 kids. You might get 4. So, or do you could if you want. Anyway, the twin has asthma, so we opted for remote. Yeah, so that's kind of, I can keep on going, or you can ask me some questions.
Yeah, so
I could transition that right into what I think you want me to talk about.
So there was a chance that you guys were going to go back full.
Right. So, well, even there was a chance that they were going to force us, not force, in case anybody from my district watches this. Whatever. So, in June they told us, back before they knew it was going to happen, if you have a health issue, you can put in your name and you can have a chance to be remote. So we did. A lot of people weren't back then, because in Bozeman cases were at 1, maybe 2. So not really many people put their names in. And when cases started to climb mid-July, they said, oh, now you can forget the first deadline. You can put, your name in now. So a lot of people put their name in, obviously. And so I'm basically with a tier 2. Shelly's a tier 1 because she's the one with the health condition, and I don't have it. So they put me at a tier 2. So I'm the spouse basically. And so what happened was they came out with this newspaper article that pretty much said, they're going to be needing people to jump on remote. And so we were like, well, shoot, if they need people, we're good to go. And then a week and a half later, they switched it. And I got an email as a tier 2 that said, you probably aren't going to get remote, and you're going to have to go back and teach in person. So the trajectory of what we've decided was first to quit our jobs completely. My father-in-law said he'd reverse mortgage his house and give us $70,000 to cover one of our salaries to pay for us to stay home with the kids. Because first off, we weren't going to go back to school, and if we did, we weren't going to send the kids. And if we didn't send the kids and we went back to school, our in-laws are over 65, wouldn't watch the kids. So that's where we were at, right? So if you could follow that, we were hosed, basically. So that was the first step, was to basically both of us quit our jobs for a year. And I haven't been teaching in this district long enough to get a sabbatical. So that was another thing. I had to ask, can I get a sabbatical? And they said, we'll tell you in 5 weeks. So that was, okay. The second one was Shelly stays home. I go back. She quits her job. I go back and I live in, I'll show you, I live in the garage. And this is not a joke. I was going to put a mattress in my garage and not see the family until we assumed that the whole district was going to go full remote. So basically, I was going to live in the garage, wave to the family as they can. And I know a lot of healthcare workers, I've read things, I'm sure you have too, have done that, right? They come in their house, they take off their shoes, they wave to the family from across the room, and that's it. So that was the next level of where we were at. So quit our job, live in the garage. And then by that time, and stress for, I think, 3 to 5 weeks, they basically said, whoopsie, we have enough teachers and we need to recruit 8 more. This was the day before school started. The day before we were contracted to go back, we found out that we got to be remote. So that's the quick version of where we were at. I love this district, though, so don't you dare say I
We're
don't.
not going to disparage.
No,
So what do you have?
I
Have they talked about going back to school yet? Hybrid or whatever?
right. So they are going to go back to full 5 days a week, November 5th.
And what are you guys going to do?
Well, we're in what's called the BOS, Bozeman Online School. So we're the Bozeman
So
Online
you're
School.
there,
We're like the 9th elementary. So there's 8 elementary schools in Bozeman. So we're like the 9th elementary school. It's K8, but you know, we're the 9th school basically, and we're kind of our own thing. We have our own principal. So, you know, they did a survey, and the shift was so much that it was like, I think they said 15 people would leave full-time school to come into the Bozeman Online School, and 15 people would leave the Bozeman Online School. So it was kind of an even mix. Right now I have 21 kids in my class, and I mean, I'd have to lose, I would say 8 kids that just go straight. If all 15 kids were from my class, who knows what's going to happen, honestly, but I'm not too worried. All the parents I know in my class are going to stick with it.
So
Because right now it's the 2 days a week. So track A goes Monday, Tuesday. No one goes Wednesday. Track B goes Thursday, Friday, right? So we have 5 days though. We go from 8:15 to 11 in my first grade class with 15-minute breaks. So I know that the parents love the consistency. They've 5 days a week. They know what's happening. We do it every day. And I know the parents love to be in person, but there is that Wednesday where, you know, no one's in school. And my buddy, I went and talked to him last night. His kids go Monday, Tuesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they're home with him. And then think about Labor Day. So their first day of school was a Tuesday, and they didn't go back to school, you know, for 5 days. So they had 1 day of school. And then we had a PIR day or in-service day 2 Mondays ago. So then again, Tuesday, they don't get, so they've kind of haven't had as many days.
So but when they're not in the classroom, so let's say you are on the A track and you go to school on Monday, Tuesday, on Thursday, Friday, aren't you doing remote school then? Digital?
Right, yeah, so they're doing remote, and what they've done for teachers, the great thing they've done is they've set up a daycare at the high school for teachers' kids. And
Right.
this is like specifically just for this year. There is something called Hawk's Nest, which is always happening, but it's for anyone. But because, you know, I mean, everyone, I think teachers assume, or people assume that teachers don't want to go back. But I tell you here, most teachers I know wanted to go to 5 days because of the childcare problems. Like my friends were like, what am I going to do with my kids now? So now you think about like that they're back in school. So yeah, they're there 2 days, but now they have to go to this daycare where now they're exposed to more kids and things like that. So it ended up being that the blended model might have exposed people to more than they would have if they were just with 20. And there's people in Bozeman who have blatantly admitted that on our school board meetings, that have said, we need to go back because I just take my kid to soccer and I take my kid to football and now he's exposed all over the place. So your plan doesn't work. Like that was a recorded call-in on our school board meeting. I'm not kidding. So yeah, so the teachers I know, they have the option. There's a couple of teachers I know that are part-time, so they can take, you know, their kids and a couple friends' kids, so they take them on those 3 days off. Yeah, but if I don't know, if we didn't have the situation, so my mother-in-law comes and watches the kids. So our situation is, I'm in the garage. I'm going to walk you to the garage. You want to go see it, Brian?
Sure, real fast.
So I'm in the garage. My wife's downstairs teaching 4th grade. My son's in 1st grade, sitting next to my daughter, who's in 3rd grade with the noise-canceling headphones on. So there's 4 of us all online at the same time. And it's actually worked out. My mother-in-law comes. So this is where I teach from. That's my setup right here. I got the computer. I have an iPad that I use as a dot cam that I jump into my Meet. So I'm on my Meet on this laptop that I'm on my computer, and I'm on my iPad all at the same time. And then I do my anchor charts here on the wall. And then right under my pull-up bar, which I can't even do a pull-up right now, so it's really merely there for decoration, is my whiteboard.
So while you're teaching, you have your 2 oldest kids at the kitchen counter learning in their classroom?
Oh, they're downstairs in the playroom with the door closed, with the twins banging on the door trying to get into their own playroom. I'm not kidding. For 3 hours.
And then your mother-in-law You need childcare in your own house because both you and your wife are teaching remotely.
Yeah, so my mother-in-law comes every morning. She gets here at 7:30, and she watches the twins, and we do this big exchange where we all go to our spots. She watches the twins until 1. She puts them down for their nap, and by that time we've kind of ended our meets, or we can stagger, me and Shelly, and then she goes home, and so she kind of works half a day here for us. And yeah, so for us it's working, but it took a while to get to this point.
The best part is that Pat went. Can you want to tell your doctor story?
Oh yeah, so I heard, so when we in the panic phase of me living in the garage, which you just saw, it's not that bad. In that panic phase of me living in the garage, I had heard a story of a teacher who wasn't afraid or nervous about COVID, but just decided they wanted to teach remote, and so they were going to claim obesity. And I looked up my BMI on the internet, and I was like, according to BMI, I'm 3 pounds overweight. I have not been to the doctor or had a doctor's appointment in probably 10 years, but I scheduled a doctor's appointment to go tell him I was obese, and he said, no, you probably have to gain like 40 more pounds. And I said, challenge accepted. But I didn't have enough time, so that didn't. I'm not obese, which I guess it was a blessing and a curse.
So I just have 2 things I want to say before we end this, Brian. One is that Patrick, you're amazing. Seeing your garage setup. I mean, I'm sure your wife has it too. I just think teachers are so stinking amazing. Like, it just shocks me what all our profession is doing. And then the other thing I want to say is I think you're right. There's a belief out there that teachers don't want to be back in the classroom, and that when we close the buildings, teachers were happy because it meant that they wouldn't have to work, when in reality it meant completely the opposite. We've never worked harder in our entire lives than we've worked in the last 6 months. And all of these things that other families are feeling because school closed, we're also feeling that too. Like, it impacts us as parents and employers,
and teachers,
and
our
it's teachers
clientele,
also.
we have a feeling about them as well.
I said this on Facebook to my 5 Facebook friends, so it might be, I'm glad I'm gonna say it here. My brother will appreciate this. I really liken teachers to a referee, because me and my brother referee. We used to ref, and no one ever sees a referee as a person. And I do think that people have forgotten that teachers also have kids and would want full remote for that reason. They're just basically like, teachers are lazy, they don't want to go back. And if I can think of probably 8 teacher friends right now that are full go, like, why aren't we back full time? Because I need childcare for myself. And so obviously no one thinks that. Like, no, referees aren't people. So I said to someone, we're the ones wearing the striped shirts right now, basically. But I didn't mind people calling me stripes. I just meant I didn't like people calling me other stuff, But that's really, I think the best way to put it is, we're just this faceless group of people that are lazy right now. They couldn't let us have that high in the spring where we could get paid $1 million for too long. They had to, they had to bring us back down.
Yeah.
Bring us back down to earth. So anyway,
Hey,
that's my story.
Thanks for jumping in last minute. I'm really glad that it worked out.
You're amazing, Patrick.
Hopefully a lot of people enjoy it, and my district doesn't see it.
Don't share it. I'm not on Facebook, so how can they?
I'm not sharing it. All right. Thanks,
I'll catch
guys.
you later, man. Bye.
Nice to meet you. All right. Bye.
Okay, I'm gonna stop that's it. And
Okay.
time for anything else, and then we'll just figure it out next week. All right, bye everybody.